In this video, I shall talk about how a database form is created um, on the MIS. So navigating to FPCU or anywhere the database or the new form button is located, clicking on it allows you to create a new form. So in my case, FPCU survey the new form. So in previous videos, I have already created a class, a database table named MIS test. So I am going to use this particular data source to create a database table. So once you found the data source in which you want to pull the fields of the table from, of the form from, you select it, then it drops down a list of the available fields in that particular database table. So in my case, I'm just going to use this new MIS test. So once it has pulled the fields, by simply dragging and dropping it to my right hand side, I can add the field to the form. So in this case, I'm just going to add all three fields to the form. So optionally, if we want to create some validation logic on this particular form, as in cases where if you input, for example, maybe if you input dates greater than 2023, display this error, or if the user chooses an option that is not conforming to what you want them to choose, you can prevent them and, hide certain fields, show certain fields and whatnot. So all that can be controlled from this script window. Then if we are done, we can then go ahead and save. So I'm going to name this mobile MIS test form and click on okay. Okay, before clicking on save changes, there are a few other modifications we can make on this form. So here we have date of submission. If we want to show a different date other than date of submission, we can change it here. For example, if I want it to be submission date instead, that I can do from here and save changes, so it will be here. So this applies to just this form I am creating, and there are some other fields that we can change. Say for example, I want to make these comments the first come before submission date. I can also change the position and make it 1, then it becomes the first. So there are different other settings we can set. Once we are done, we can then go ahead and click on save changes. So navigating to view forms, at the end it shows us a preview of the form we just created. But going back to view forms, selecting the first form here, which is the form I just created, you'll be able to see the same preview by your right hand side. Optionally, one can also view the form again in a pop-up or view the active form. So in cases where we have validation logics tied to the script, this first button here does not apply the script, but this second one here applies the script. You can also clone the form, or you could refresh. So what this refresh does is, in cases where we have changed some certain fields from the data source, so from my database fields where I have the MIS fields, those comments and other fields defined. If, for instance, I changed certain things about the field, and let's say I changed this NFWP option list from a drop down list, I changed it to a free text field. If I changed it from here, if I had made that change from here, I would still have to come here to refresh this form so it picks the updated information and effects it on the form. So that is what this refresh form does. So changes here on this particular data table does not affect our form here unless I come to refresh the form. So that is how forms are created on the MIS project.